Welcome students to your online classes. Now today we'll discuss about the fertilization and seed and fruit formation. Okay. So today's topic is fertilization. Now in the yesterday's class we had learned that in the process of sexual reproduction we need a male cell and a female cell, and the fusion of these two cells takes place for the formation of a new individual that is known as zygote. Zygote is actually the new cell, and from the zygote only we will get the new individual. Okay. So fertilization is defined as the fusion of two gametes, and that two gametes are one male gamete and one female gamete, and the product of this fusion is called zygote. Okay, one male plus one female gamete will fuse together and they will form the zygote. Male gamete plus female gamete, and these two will form a new cell that is known as zygote. And this zygote for the development and the we can say division will takes place in the zygote, and a new individual will be formed. Okay, this zygote divides further and give rise to a new individual. Now this process, this fusion of male and female gamete or cell is known as fertilization. So we will learn how this fertilization will take place in the plants. Okay, in the plants, flower is the reproductive part of the plant, and in that reproductive part this is the female and this is the male part. Okay, these stamens or the anthers are the male part and this ovary is the female part. In the ovary, in this whole pistil or ovary, this ovule has the egg cell. Okay, this ovary has the egg cell, whereas in the anthers these pollen grains have the male cell. Okay, they have the female cell, they have the male cells. Okay, so what happens during pollination when the pollen grains will transfer or will fall on the stigma of the right variety of the flower? Then what happens? Okay, first the pollen grain, when it will get a stick to the stigma, it will start to develop a tube like structure, and that tube is known as pollen tube. Okay, this pollen tube starts to develop from this pollen grain. Okay, then this tube will starts to grow along the wall of the ovary. Okay, or the style. Okay, you know that this is stigma, this is style, and this part is known as ovary. So this pollen tube, the tube like structure, starts to grow along with the wall of this style and curls हो गया, मुड़ गए वो यहाँ पे at the bottom of the ovary. Okay, and then it will break थ्रू एन ओपनिंग इन द ओव्यूल. ओव्यूल के अंदर जाने के लिए उसने क्या किया, एक ओपनिंग क्रिएट की, ब्रेक कर दिया यहाँ से, एंड दिस पोलन ट्यूब विल मूव इनसाइड द ओव्यूल. अब इस पोलन ट्यूब में क्या था, व्हाट इज देयर इन द पोलन ट्यूब? इन द पोलन ग्रेन्स मेल सेल इज प्रेजेंट. ओके, सो दैट मेल सेल गेट ट्रांसफर्ड थ्रू दिस पोलन ट्यूब इनसाइड दिस एग सेल. ओके, so the male gamete or the male cell moves down the tube and fertilizes the female gamete, and then they form a zygote in it. Okay, now this is how fertilization takes place. This fertilized ovule, once this ovule will get fertilized, it will later after some time this will convert into the seed. Okay, now what happens after fertilization? Ovule converts into the seed. Okay, and ovary converts into the fruit. Okay, ovary will convert into the fruit and the ovule converts into the seed. The seed contains an embryo, and in that seed embryo is present, and when we will sow this seed, this embryo starts to develop and will get a new plant. Okay, the pistil and the rest of the part of the flower will fall off or wither away. सब गायब हो जाते हैं. Only what is left? This ovary and the ovule. Okay, ovary was the fruit and ovule is seeds actually. Okay, so this is how fertilization takes place, and we'll get the fruit and the seed. Okay, so now we will learn about the seed and fruit formation. Now our next topic is seed and fruit formation. So we know that this seed is actually the ovules which these ovules get converted into the seed, and this fruit is actually the ovary. After fertilization, ovary converts into the fruit and ovules convert into the seeds or develops into the seeds. Okay, now depending upon the type of the plant, this mature ovary may form different types of fruits, like a juicy or fleshy fruit, or sometimes it converts or it develop into a dry fruit. Okay, because whatever fruits we get, that is actually the ovary. So based on the different type of plant, this mature ovary develops different types of fruits, like peach, mango, apple, plum. Okay, all these have different they form a juicy and fleshy fruits. Okay, whereas like chestnut, almonds, cashew nuts, okay, walnuts, they form dry fruits. Okay, so it depends on the plants. Basically all these are fruits only. Okay, so the other parts of the flower also take part in the formation of fruit, like this, an apple. Okay, what happens? A pome. Students, when you will learn about the fruits in detail in the higher classes, then you will come to know that the fruits are of different types. They have their specific classes. Based on that, the fruits are there. Okay, so this apple is actually a pome. Okay, so this pome, which is like example is apple. This is a fleshy fruit. Okay, you know that apple is a fleshy fruit, and this is composed of a mature ovary and along with some other flower parts, including petals, sepals, and receptacle. Receptacle is actually the thalamus. I explained in the yesterday's video what is thalamus. It actually acts as the base for the ovary to sit on it. Okay, so this apple is basically comprised of that fleshy fruit has petals, sepals, and receptacle, that is the base of the flower. So here we'll discuss about the apple only, that is a pome, and it is mainly consist of or constitute with the different parts of the flower. Okay, now under this our next topic is dispersal of seeds. Dispersal means scattering away. कैसे सीड्स जो है वो डिस्पर्स होते हैं, स्कैटर होते हैं. ठीक है, डिस्पर्सल ऑफ सीड्स. ओके, so what happens once the seeds and the fruits are formed by the process of fertilization, they need to be dispersed, otherwise how they will grow. Okay, so they need to be dispersed or spread in the environment, and when the seeds find a suitable or favorable environment, favorable conditions, then it gives rise to a new plant. The seeds will start to grow into a new plant. Okay, and what is the importance of seed dispersal? So it is important for the healthy survival of the new plant, because if the seeds will not disperse, they will remain at the one place, then there will be very tough competition between the seeds to grow, and all the seeds will not be able to grow properly. And if they will disperse, if they will scatter away from the parent plant, all the seeds will get proper place or nutrients as well as the conditions to survive, and they can grow into a new plant. Okay, if the seeds will not disperse, means like, and the new plant means like this dispersal of seeds will result in the new plantlets to grow, and they can easily grow properly. And if they will not disperse, they will not scatter away, they will remain with the parent plant, and there will be competition between the seeds. Okay, so there are different mechanisms of seed dispersal, or we can say different modes of seed dispersal, in which the first one is wind dispersal. Wind dispersal means the scattering of seeds with the help of wind. Okay, first one is wind dispersal. So in which case the seeds will disperse by the wind when the seeds are they have the structures like wings, parachutes, and tufts of hairs when they are light in weight. Okay, the wings help them to sail with a light breeze and travel large distances away from the parent plant. Their wings, their parachutes like structure, and the tufts of hairs, they help the seeds to disperse away long distances from the parent plant. Example, seeds of cotton. They are actually found in a ball of cottony hair. They are so light that they can easily we can say fly away from one place to another to like towards the long distances. Second one is animals. Animals also helps in seed dispersals. How? Based on that, animals usually disperse two kinds of seeds. First one is hooked seeds and the second one is fleshy seeds. Okay, so hooked seeds have hook-like structures. They have, like, on the tips they have some hook-like structures which attach themselves. They means these hook-like structures, these hooky seeds will get attached to the uh, animal's body, to fur of the animal, and then they can easily move from one place to another. And the fleshy seeds means like the seeds which are enclosed in the fleshy fruits, they are dispersed through the feces of animals. Like whenever the animal eat the food and eat the fruit, and along with the fruit it can easily eat the seeds, and when they will pass by the feces, or when they will excrete out their unwanted material from their body, then they can easily disperse the seeds from different areas. Okay, and the third one is water dispersal. When the seeds are like coconut and lotus, the seeds of coconut and lotus, they have the capability to float in water. They can easily float on the water and they can easily disperse from one place to another. And the fourth one is bursting open of fruits. Means like जब वो फट करके और स्प्रेड होते हैं, बर्स्टिंग ओपन और फ्रूट, जब फ्रूट जो है वो बर्स्ट होता है, फटता है, तो द फ्रूट्स they can easily scattered away from the parent plant. And the examples are balsam, pulses and pods. Okay, now the last topic under this chapter is germination of seeds. You know that we got the seed from the flower in the form, means like ovules convert into the seeds. Now how the germination of seed takes place? So the seeds of the plant is in dormant or resting phase, okay, of the plant. Whenever we get the seed, it is in the dormant state, means that at that time the seed is in resting phase. Okay, it has a hard protective covering called seed coat, or okay, it has a hard protective covering that is known as seed coat. Now they starts to develop the radicle, means they have the radical part or the first root, and the plumule part, which is the first shoot, and the cotyledons, which you have learnt in the lower classes also, that cotyledons act as the like stored food for the embryo till the leaves starts to grow. Once the leaves starts to grow and prepare the food, then the cotyledons will not in use, they will not use that food till the growth of leaves. The seeds use the food which is stored by the plant in the form of cotyledons. Okay, a seed also contains some enzymes that are necessary to start the process of germination. Okay, now the seed remain at the resting state till the favorable conditions, they will get the favorable conditions to grow. Once the seed will get the favorable conditions, then they starts to grow, like proper temperature, ample moisture and oxygen. Now the seed germination occurs through the following phases. First of all, water is the first requirement. You know, whenever we sow the seed, first we give the water, because water activates the enzymes which are there in the seed to initiate the process of germination. Second, the enzymes get digest the food stored in the cotyledons, and then it will be used up by the embryo. Okay, then the digested food is used up by the embryo or the radicular plumule for the growth. And once this starts to grow, then the proper root and the shoot starts to grow, emerges out from the seeds, and then they can easily grow into the soil and anchor itself, and they can also be converts into the roots and absorb water and minerals for the further growth. Okay, and the plumule that emerges out from the soil upwards, they also starts to bear the leaves and starts to photosynthesize. It is now a young plantlet which can prepare its food and does not rely on the food stored in the cotyledons of the seed. That I already told you, that once the leaves starts to grow, then the seed will not depend on the cotyledons for the stored food. They starts to get the food from the leaf prepared by the, or we can say it starts to get the food which is produced by the, which is prepared by the leaves by the process of photosynthesis. So this is how, students, in this chapter we had learnt about the reproduction in plants, how the reproduction in plants takes place, how a flower has different parts, and how the seeds means like we get the seeds from the ovules, and then how the dispersal of seeds takes place, and once the dispersal of seeds takes place, how it will starts to grow into a new plant. So this is how we had done our chapter over here. That's all for today.